Jamaica, independent, beautiful and earning a bucket load of cash through tourism.
I think there is a space certainly for the all-inclusive product. But yes, I do think that the smaller operator can get crowded out.
As the island celebrates 50 years of independence, we asked, do the dollars we spend there really make island life better for the locals? Plus, 800 years of perfect harmony. We visit one of the world's oldest choirs. And
on the move, wildebeest, whales and turtles. That's coming up on Insider Guide.
Hello and welcome to Fast Track. I'm Fiona Foster. Now this month, Jamaica should have plenty to celebrate. Not only is Olympic golden boy Usain Bolt expected to come home with a slew of medals, but it's also 50 years since the island gained independence from the British West Indies. Nowadays, tourism is their biggest industry. People are attracted from all over the world to those famous golden sandy beaches. But critics say that the people who live there actually see very little benefit of those tourist dollars, which end up in the vaults of big foreign chains. So has tourism been a blessing or a curse? Nick Davis reports from Jamaica.
Sorry to say that I'm on my way.
Jamaica's a nation with a soundtrack. It's best known for reggae, but the Jolly Boys started back in the 1950s as a mento band, performing for the likes of Errol Flynn just as mass tourism started to take off here. But over the years, many things have changed. Joseph Powder Bennett founded the group and remembers a time when everyone benefited from tourism.
You see, when you have a lot of dogs, you have less boat. And I've had much bone to eat. So the bigger fish, just eat the smaller fish. Very little the smaller fish can get. But those fish big, eat of everything.
Jamaica was the happiest island in all the Caribbean. Kingston was in holiday mood, and the whole population hung out the flags and metaphorically threw its hat in the air.
At the time of independence in 1962, Jamaica was on a high.
Getting their independence, and everyone is happy.
It was the fastest growing developing country in the world. The global boom in travel at the time saw tourism take the place of sugar as it became the major part of the island's economy. New hotels sprang up around the best beaches, but a combination of crime and holidaymakers' tastes in the 70s and 80s changed everything as the all-inclusive model became standard.
Let's go! Independent Jamaica!
45 years I've been in public life, 45 years of continuous service. This is the longest period of service of anyone in this region.
The country's former Prime Minister, Edward Seaga, was at the ceremony back in 1962. He was responsible for a wave of hotel development as the country moved towards mass tourism. He now thinks that the industry hasn't worked well for some, such as craft sellers.
The craft people have a genuine case for being in a very bad condition in the locations which they have to offer their goods, and the governments don't pay any attention to it at all.
It's estimated that some 700,000 jobs are directly or indirectly linked to the industry. Over the last 50 years, the demand for its natural resources like bauxite and alumina fell, and the country's national debt is huge at about $19 billion. Tourism is the ray of sunshine in the stormy economy, but many small operators say that only big business is making money and not enough of it filters down to others in the industry.
Now, tourism is essential for Jamaica's economy. It's worth $2.5 billion a year. Much of that comes from the work of the all-inclusives who bring in the vast majority of guests. But now they and the government are aware that they need to diversify if they want to get more people to come to this island.
Notice the symbols again.
Jamaica Cultural Experiences offers a different side to the city, walking tours for groups and individuals.
What we're seeing here is Redemption Song.
Well, they are unveiled in all their glory, really, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. So there was all this controversy about the nakedness. The thing is that you need diversity in the market. I think that is what is important, because there will be people who really all they want to do is they just want to go on the beach. That's really all they want to do. And I mean, that's great. But you know, you have other people with other interests. And I think that once all of that is given, you know, enough oxygen in order to thrive, then I think it's fine.
There are also arts tours of the city with galleries in private homes.
Our family has so many artists in it, so a lot of the work here, you know, represents their work. This is my son's work. Organized tours, unusual, unique tours that are specifically and tailored to the needs of people, and that being available now is what has opened up many areas of our culture to those who would love to discover it. And I think this is what's going to open a lot of opportunity for others to see that Jamaica is more than just sea, sand and water.
The government say they need to expand tourism by not only having more resorts and rooms, but by having more attractions that allow the money that comes into the country to reach more people.
It diversifies the market. It shows that you can have people of different interests can experience and enjoy Jamaica. So those who want sun, and sea, we have that here. Those who want to have entertainment, we have that here. Different types of entertainment. Sports tourism is also a big thing coming into Treasure Beach as well. So when we diversify the product, we can therefore diversify the market and have greater interest and greater numbers of persons coming in, benefiting the economy and improving the lives of the people.
The mistakes that Jamaica made in the past are being picked up by other small islands who are now starting to develop tourism, like Grenada.
Grenada, what we have going for us, we're a small island. We have, you know, some of the most fantastic beaches in the Caribbean. And the thing is, Jamaica has so much to offer in terms of tours that tourists can do. But very few of them actually take advantage of that. A lot of guests do go to the all-inclusives. They get more of a budget tourist. They may do 1 or 2 tours, and that's it. Our clientele is not like that. They are out all the time doing different things, the snorkeling, the grenadine trips, the, you know, hiking, waterfalls. They're doing it all, and that's the difference.
Over in your Kingston town, oh yeah.
Jamaica's key markets, the US and Europe, are still feeling the effects of the economic slowdown. But the island continues to buck the travel trend, seeing yearly modest rises in visitor numbers. The country faces stiff competition from other destinations, but it hopes that in its Jubilee year, it can capitalise on its reputation as a fun place to go.
Jamaica, yeah.
Nick Davis from sunny Jamaica, 50 years on from independence. So what do you think? Have you seen any evidence that tourism is improving the lives of the locals there? Do let us know. Our address, fasttrack@bbc.com. And that's how many of you got in touch following Carmen's recent report on the high cost of hotel rooms in Sydney and Perth. Peter from Australia wrote in to say it's not just visitors this hike is hurting.
We constantly hear how the tourist market is struggling. While hoteliers are scoring well due to corporate bookings, it's the tourist attractions that are taking a hit. Due to the high Australian dollar, it is much cheaper to fly to Southeast Asia for a week than it is to stay a week in Australia. The corporate customers, while important to the Australian economy, don't visit attractions like parks or the zoo.
While Alan from Sydney emailed,
I'm proud of my hometown. However, I was embarrassed at the inference made by one of the contributors that New York, London or Paris should be held up as a reference for Sydney. Frankly, Sydney is not remotely in the same class, even though a number of Australians often try to convince themselves that it is. The mining boom and consequent high exchange rate will not last forever. When China eventually slows down, Australia will sadly fall off the cliff and prices will again be, if not a bargain, then at least affordable.
Thanks, Alan. Controversial point. If you've got anything to say about that or anything else you see on the programme for that matter, do let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's take a look at what else has been making the headlines in the world of travel this week.
Tourists driving in Spain are being warned to beware of thieves who pretend to be Good Samaritans. Cars with foreign number plates are being targeted by robbers who first slash a tyre, then offer to help the driver get it fixed, while another gang member takes valuables from the car. The British Consulate has reported 140 robberies last year on one Spanish motorway alone. Hot, dry weather in the American Midwest has brought an unwelcome visitor this year, the mosquito carrying the West Nile virus. New York, Idaho, Iowa and at least 16 other states have seen more cases earlier than usual this year. Anyone travelling to those areas should take precautions such as using insect repellent. In Amsterdam, there are concerns that a new law banning the sale of cannabis to anyone without a so-called weed pass will hit tourist numbers. The rules are already in place in some cities and are due to be applied in Amsterdam next year. But the Organisation of Cannabis Sellers says it will lead to the closure of many coffee shops selling cannabis. And finally, tourism officials in Egypt are hoping to attract more lovers of the macabre, amongst others, to some of the most famous sites in the world by opening the tombs of ancient Egyptian high priests for the first time in decades.
Don't go away, because still to come, Michelle's here with her pick of the best things to see and do around the world in the coming weeks, including the hatching turtles of Oman, a perennial favourite, and we head to Germany to hear what we think must be some of the most beautiful voices in the world.
Hello, I'm Michelle Yanachan, and this is Fast Track's Insider Guide with my top travel tips from around the world. In Oman, thousands of turtles will be arriving to nest on the beaches of Ras Al Janays Nature Reserve, the easternmost point of the Arabian Peninsula. It's estimated over 20,000 green turtles return here annually to lay their eggs. Guided excursions are available at night and early morning, and September is a good month to witness both the laying and the hatching of eggs. From August 29th, the island of Bali in Indonesia will be hosting one of its most colourful festivals, Galungan. Balinese Hindus believe the spirits of their ancestors return to Earth every 210 days, the length of the Balinese calendar. Locals will be making offerings at the temples, of which there are thousands across the island. Don't miss September 8th, the final day, called Kuningan, when rituals are at their most elaborate. The usually sleepy village of Guča takes centre stage in August, with Serbia's annual brass band festival from the 6th through 12th. Hundreds of thousands of people will be descending on the tiny town to hear top musicians playing their Balkan beats. There's also the competition for the Golden Trumpet, the crowning glory of the event, and the coveted top award for trumpeters. In South Africa, spring flowers are coming into bloom on the Western Cape. Look out for king protea, orchids, pink and yellow ericas, and carnivorous sundew plants. Closer to Cape Town, pay a visit to the acclaimed Kirstenbosch National Botanical Gardens, 100 years old next year. It also happens to be the best time to see whales off the Cape through October, so this might be a good one to combine. On August 22nd, Jordan will celebrate the 200-year anniversary since the rediscovery of Petra, the ancient Nabatean city, famed for its vast rock formations. In 1812, Swiss explorer Johann Burckhardt, masquerading as an Arab, sent reports back to London about this former trading city hidden in the mountains between the Dead Sea and Gulf of Aqaba. Temperatures can be very high at this time of year, but try the Petra by Night tour, when visitors can walk through the historic ruins by candlelight after sunset. The land of the midnight sun lives up to its name this time of year. 24-hour daylight can be experienced in Greenland, north of the Arctic Circle. That would be above Kangerlussuaq in the west and Dasselak in the east. The Arctic summer is short and intense, and it's the best season for kayaking and hiking. Towards the end of August and in early September, you might be lucky enough to catch the Northern Lights too. Kenya's Masai Mara and the Serengeti in Tanzania are set to become a focus for those seeking dramatic moments in the Great Migration. Millions of wildebeest, as well as zebra and antelope, journey across these plains. The animals will soon confront the raging Mara River, the greatest obstacle for these herds, with lions and other predators lurking on the banks and crocodiles in the water. That crossing happens around now through September, depending on rainfall. Remember, the migration does happen all year round across a landscape which is surely one of the world's most beautiful. Thanks for checking in with my Insider Guide this month. Until next time, happy travelling.
Thanks, Michelle. And if you know of anything big coming up, do let us know. I'll give you the address at the end of the show. Right, it's off to Germany now, where one of the world's oldest choirs is blowing out 800 birthday candles this year. The Bach International Choir had already clocked up 475 years when Johann Sebastian joined it back in 1723. And all these years later, it's still going strong. We've been lucky enough to be offered a peek behind the scenes. Karen Baumann headed to Leipzig to see if today's choir masters are still as angelic as their medieval counterparts.
They're typical young boys. but they have some of the finest voices in the world. They belong to the St Thomas's Boys Choir, or Tamana, and all they want to do is sing.
Each week we have to learn new music, and from Monday until Thursday we are very busy. Tuesday they come together, and Wednesday it will be a little bit more and better. And Thursday they have to be fit for the last rehearsal on Friday. Some choirs on the world needs a half of a year to learn the music of a Bach cantata. We need about 2.5 weeks only.
Other people play football or do other sports, but we sing and it's really great, and we like classical music, I think, and Bach is perhaps the best.
I'm really proud to be a member of the choir in this special time. I'm really happy too. I feel very lucky.
The choir school was established to provide choristers for St Thomas's Church in Leipzig, a tradition that continues today. Its most famous cantor was Johann Sebastian Bach, who led the choir for almost 30 years in the 18th century.
He brought the greatest music for our choir, like the B minor Mass, St. Matthew Passion, St. John Passion, and a lot of motets and cantatas he wrote for our choir, and so it's great to perform it like it was his instrument.
And those performances take the choir dressed in their iconic blue sailor suits around the world.
We get to see parts of the world like Tokyo or perhaps Seoul in Korea or South America. Of course we have concerts in the evening, but all day we have time to just have a look at, for instance, Buenos Aires, and it's just so great.
We don't have to miss other things, because in our free time we could listen to other music, and we could do other things, for example dancing or playing football or just hanging out in the park right here. And we sing about 2 hours a day, and this is a lot of fun for us.
Antwortest du nicht zu dem, dass diese Weder dich zeugen?
As well as choir practice, the boys have private singing lessons and learn instruments. But while the school's famous for music, it's also known for encouraging its pupils to live like a family.
Well, we live in a dormitory of 10 people, with 10 people together, from different ages, from 8 to 18. So I think we have a really nice system, because every younger choir member has an older choir member who takes care of him. So when they have a problem, they come to us.
To celebrate its 800th anniversary, the school is building new rehearsal and lecture rooms to make it easier for pupils to combine their academic and musical life. Since, when lessons are over, it's often time to get ready for another performance.
The center of our music, of course, is Bach. If you would go with us and you can see 3,500 audience people stands up and clapping the hand and give applause. Some tears in the eyes. It is great for the boys to see this. Our chance is to bring Bach with our boys to the world.
Karen Baumann with the International Bach Choir in Leipzig. And that's it for now. Do try and join us again next week when Rajan will be investigating so-called grey gappers and asking, with more older tourists hitting the road in search of adventure, is the world of travel any good at catering for their every need? Until then, though, please do keep in touch. You can see more on our website at bbc.com/fasttrack. And while you're there, why not click through to see what we're doing on Facebook, Pinterest or Twitter. And for even more inspirations and tips, you can try bbc.com/travel. For now though, from me, Fiona Foster, and the rest of the Fast Track team, thank you for watching and goodbye.